looks like we have a caller. Hey, caller, you're live on the air. Which name? Where are you from?
Damon, my name is Eric Simkin. How you doing, my friend?
Eric Simkin.
I am from downtown, beautiful downtown Voorhees Township, New Jersey, right in Camden County.
Hey, Pete.
Yes, sir.
Eric Simkin, this guy, he is the man. I'll tell you. Listen, I will give it to him. He goes out there and he goes to he'll go and protest. He'll go with his bullhorn. He'll say whatever he has to say, what's right. Like, he doesn't care about how it's going to affect him. Like, he's like a mud monster, like Trump. So you can throw mud on him all you want. He's not going to stop. He's going to be full of mud. He doesn't care. But he does what's right, and he'll go right after you and say, no, you're wrong. This is right. And that's why I love him. He's a great friend of mine.
Well, there you go. That sounds fantastic. Eric, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing good, man. Glad to hear you guys talking about tariffs, economy, and all that stuff. If I could weigh in on that real quick, I definitely want to talk about what's going on in New Jersey. I heard you say it'd be great to get some companies in New Jersey. Unfortunately, none of them are coming. Most of them are leaving under Democrat rule, as we know. So we have a governor election coming up in November. But first, we have to get through the primary and get somebody that can really win the race to governor in November. To me, that's none other than Bill Spadea, and we'll talk about that. But going back to your tariffs, your point made is excellent. That is, there are no tariffs if you're building stuff in America, right? So, yeah, we might take a little bit of a hit on some products, goods, and services that we're used to getting. But think about China and all the stuff they send. They hold the cards on pharmaceutical, on drugs that we all need, not just not narcotics and things of that nature, which are also sending to Canada and Mexico that are infiltrating our border, right? And that's the reason for those tariffs on Canada and Mexico. They're killing our people.
Mm-hmm.
And the precursors are coming directly out of China. We've warned them time and time again. And at some point, you can't just send a strongly worded letter. It stops working, right? I mean, I'm going over the Walt Whitman Bridge right now. I'm wondering where all these products are coming from on these ships. They're being shipped. We could be making a lot of stuff here. We ship raw materials all over the world to be manufactured, and then they ship it back to us completed. And that's jobs. That's to me, yeah, you have to be careful with tariffs, but you have to stand our ground like we do on anything else. And speaking of standing ground, when you're saying I'll show up to stuff and throw mud either, but ultimately the solution for all that is hitting people with truth and facts and having the receipts, just like, we all talk about as strong conservatives, MAGA, whatever you may call it, right? We have to keep doing. And I view the antithesis to that whole concept as what I call the Uni-Party establishment of the New Jersey GOP. Not in whole, but in big part. There's plenty of good players out there and operators. But as we get deeper into these elections and primaries, it starts to become really easy to see who's working with us and who's not. And as the great Stephen K. Bannon would say, you're either for us or you're against us. And people better break out their number 2 pencil and start writing stuff down so that they can remember and have these talking points to talk to their friends, their coworkers and things, and get people on the best page for what's going to bring us forward. And what's going to bring us forward, in my humble opinion, is change. We have a professional candidate out there, Jack Ciattarelli. He's been running for almost 10, 12 years now, before the 27 primary, which he lost. And he lost the 2021 election coming out of the worst draconian lockdowns against Murphy. And here we are. We got that horse-toothed gentleman still running our state into the ground, So when I say change, it's not personal. I don't have a personal issue with any of these people. It's business, and the business of politics, as you know, Damon, you've run, is the dirtiest business on the planet. And that's not helping the constituents, us, me and you. I don't know what you guys pay in taxes, but, you can't pay off your taxes. They keep coming.
And they keep going up.
Real estate goes up and down, all that stuff, but they've got us in a real pickle here. And the candidates that they're proposing, I mean, look at what happened with Bashaw. That's a GOP candidate. That was an official GOP Uni-Party selected candidate, and he got less votes than Trump. So if you need any more receipt than that, I mean, I don't know what you would need. And I would be asking people like Joe Kondo this question, who plays around in every county, according to him, in a video I watched of him. Why are you playing around? This isn't a game. It sounds like Zelensky to me, playing cards. These are the same things happening on a federal level that are crushing us locally in New Jersey. And this is my last stand in New Jersey. I mean, I'm a lifer here, but I mean, I'm getting up close to retirement. I mean, not that close, but close enough to where I'm thinking, am I going to be able to afford to live here when I retire? And I'm wondering, for a lot of people, are you going to be able to afford to live here when you're not retired? It's got to cost 120 grand to raise a family of 4 years, bare minimum. You know?
No, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, and when you bring up players like Joe Kondo, guys like that, he backroom deal, whatever he does, and he thinks he's better than sliced bread. And you know the conversation I had with him before. He said, "You don't know who I am. I'm going to hang up." I'm like, "All right, hang up the phone then." And said, "You called me." So, but yeah,
first time I ever met him was at a reorg meeting for the Camden County committee when I was getting accosted by Jeff Land, who's the Cherry Hill Municipal Chair. And it happened in front of my personal lawyer too, which I haven't forgotten about. But he's coming out. These people are all trying to make us be unsuccessful. I'm not saying every single one of them on everything. I mean, one would hope that somebody wants us to be successful at something, but it's the appearance that's given by their actions. It's not just their words. Just saying, "Oh, I'm MAGA," or "I support Trump." Those are words to me. And especially with me, if you're on social media, they're just words on a page. Those people don't mean anything to me. I worry about the truth and facts behind those words. And I don't see a whole lot of coalescing around truth and fact. And if it was up to these guys that we're talking about, they want to have a statewide convention. That's their solution, where they have a statewide convention of committee members and chairs that go to somewhere in New Brunswick, wherever they want to have it, and have a 3-day convention, work out all these issues, and then basically bring the public one candidate to vote on in the primary. That is un-American right there to me. I mean, we all know that they have a national convention, but a national convention, those delegates choose the people that the voters in those districts vote for. They don't just go there and vote for whoever they want. If they do, they're going to be off those committees and not be delegates, right?
Yeah, so you're saying that they're taking it out of the voters' hands. They're going to push their candidate forward, is what you're saying.
Well, they are now, especially, and they're putting more money into the primaries. Look what Chitterelli's raised for the primary. And but from experience, you got to spend every dime on that in the primary. That doesn't carry over to the general to go against the Democrats that we really have to beat that have $40-50 million in their coffers. We're bragging about $2-3 million. I mean, why can't we just go out and start raising that money on the streets? Do you want change? I need you to donate $8.33, $100 a year, or $83.33, $1,000 a year. We can get that money together. We don't have to count on PACs and special interest groups, and that's who backs these special interest Uni-Party. They don't like being called rhinos, by the way. I think we figured that out, right?
Yeah.
They say, "Oh, anyone you don't agree with is a rhino." Well, let's stop using that word. It's established Uni-Party candidates that are a problem. And we can beat the Democrats if we can beat the Republicans, stopping us from being able to beat the Democrats. And I'm sorry to be so passionate about this, but I can't help it because this is like our last stand on the governor race and the legislative races up and down the state. I talk to a lot of people. I talk to people in Monmouth, Union, Sussex, Burlington, Camden County. All these counties are saying, "What is going on? Why are we being jammed? Our throats being jammed down with these candidates?" And they're being jammed to us because they lost the county line, advantage, the GOP chairs that are into this kind of stuff. So they're trying to do anything they can to, quote unquote, retain power. And I've been told that by various GOP chairs. Because you know me, Damon, I will go meet with them. I don't need to just talk about them on social media or on the radio or anywhere else. If I have a problem with seeing what somebody's objective is, I will call them and go ask them to sit down. Does everyone do that? Can everyone do that? Yeah, I think anyone can, but they don't. Go listen to the candidates at speaking engagements. That's what we need is engagement with voters that are going to vote in this primary. Anyone could be a parrot for anybody's campaign. I do it. I'm fully backing Bill Spadea for governor. I believe that based on the math and based on personality and his accessibility, his likability, and his authenticity, is why I believe he has the path to the governor's mansion. And I tell everybody else, if you want to get to see the inside of the governor's mansion, you might as well ask him for a visitor's pass. I'm sure you'll get one. But find a way to work together so that we can unite the party. Some of these guys running have a huge opportunity to be heroes. And find a way. Go say, "Hey, Bill, I want to be your lieutenant governor. Hey, Bill, I want to be this. Or I'm a lawyer. I want to have a shot at working in the AG's office in New Jersey so we can get rid of all these radical policies that we're all living in with education and all the other problems we have in New Jersey." And what's going to happen when they do abolish the federal Department of Education? They're going to leave it to the states. Can you imagine how horrific that would be between the NJEA and the New Jersey Department of Education?
No, I hear you there, man. Listen, I love your passion. I just let you roll with that because I knew you were going to come fiery and come with this. So, but no matter who the gubernatorial candidate is for Republican Party, are you going to support them?
Absolutely, because that's our job. Okay, if we're out there stumping, we gotta definitely after the primary coalesce around the winner of that primary. But in between now and then, okay, it's a long time till June 4th, right? We got time, and we have time for voters that are going to vote in the primary. First of all, we're working with Scott Pressler. He's in the state full time, registering Republican voters. That's huge. We don't want to get in his way. You know, we have to find ways to work with each other. I'm very vocal. There's some people that are a little less vocal that can work in different ways. I encourage everyone to get involved more than they ever have in order to effectuate change. And, yeah, I would be happier with any Republican over any Democrat. I can pretty much tell you that, right? I mean, I think we can all agree on that. But, listen, and then there's a lot of people that have been on these committees for 40, 50 years. And they quote, Ronald Reagan, who I think is one of the most tremendous presidents in history, but he used to say many things that nobody repeats now, such as, if you can't show somebody the light, make sure they feel the heat. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm bringing the heat. If someone else wants to cool it off and coalesce and do things a little bit more softly, that's great. We need everybody's personality type involved in the fight, and I don't mean physical. We have to make this happen for ourselves because you can't ask other people to help you out if you're not willing to get in the game yourself and do something. And that's just my total thing to encourage everybody listening to get more involved. You don't have to do the nth degree. You don't have to take it to the limit. You don't have to do that, but do more than you're doing. Just a little bit at a time. It's like when you're walking up a ramp. You're taking baby steps. Ramps exist to ascend to somewhere else because sometimes it's hard to take the steps, right? Because a step is a big thing to do. Walk the ramp, do a little bit more at a time, every week, every month, every increment. And if we all do a little bit more, we're going to win. And that's what counts, especially in the general. Right?
Yeah, I hear there. Pete, what do you got?
Yeah, man. Listen, I agree with what a lot of you're saying. Is we have a lot of these career politicians that have been in here for a very long time, right? And like you said, Uni-Party. I mean, they're used to doing things a certain type of way, and I mean, we need that new blood coming in, right? We need something different. Something where somebody actually wants to come in to do the job, not just get a paycheck. And do the right things. And I mean, if we just start seeing that, number one with the governor race, but I mean, on top of that, just the local level. I mean, that's when we really start to see some change.
Absolutely. You got to go bottom up and top down simultaneously. That's why there's enough work for every personality type to get involved, right? I mean, we need school board. Look at the school boards. I mean, in my town, I feel like an abject failure because I got nobody on my board. But I can't get parents to show up at a school board because everyone looks at it as a babysitting service. So that's got to change. The township committees, a lot of them are, majority, in parts of New Jersey, not all, obviously, mostly blue. And we just got to push through it and almost act as if that doesn't exist. That's really what has to happen. You just got to have a goal and a path to get there and build it, and they'll come. I don't see too many business plans on how to get people elected. I don't see anybody coming up and saying, here, if we had $100,000 in this town, this is what we're going to do to get somebody elected. This is our business plan. So having a plan and a strategy works. I'm out here off the cuff. I don't have a business plan, but if someone had one to show me, I would certainly help execute. So these are the types of things, business leaders in our communities, they can help in those regards. Accountants, lawyers, God knows, we need good lawyers to defend all these things or go after people when they're doing something wrong in our towns. But it takes a lot because the courts are stacked with Democrats in our area. It's brutal.
Yeah, that is a big problem.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah.
So, but,
right.
Eric, I feel your passion. That's why, I'm glad that you called in. You're a good friend of mine, and I know you're doing this for good reason. Just like when you filled all the committee seats. That's why I want to get back to that easy text I did last time. You filled all those seats real quick, and got a new Camden County chair in.
She's doing a tremendous job.
Yeah.
Here at our Lincoln Reagan dinner, we had 45 attendees. This year we had 260 packed to the gills at the mansion in Voorhees. It's a beautiful event. Yet we still have some people on the committee, like a Jeff Land, that are whining and decrying that there's all kinds of subversion of democracy in the way we're running our committee. I mean, at the end of the day, we're being successful. If someone has a problem with success and it's not procedurally correct, that they're claiming, what's the difference? If you're being successful, what, your feelings are hurt? We don't win elections off feelings. We make them off of fundraising. We make them off of getting people involved and active in our organization. And that's what this is, a Republican organization. And truthfully, it's the GOP needs to understand that MAGA is here. MAGA is a different faction. It's a movement, and it's much larger than the GOP at this point. And that's how Trump almost won this state. And that's why Bashaw didn't, because the GOP Uni-Party puts up weak candidates. And pretty much the people they're putting up in the primaries, you should be looking at the others if you want to know the truth.
You're right about that, Eric. Thank you for calling in.
You got it, my friend.
I got Beth's word that she's trying to call in. She's texting me, so I won't open up the line.
Oh, great. All right, great. I appreciate your time, fellas. Have a great night.